Hey, what's going on? It's your dude, mans. We are back. Right after part 10, we are back because after the credits, there was like an after credits cutscene. So we're gonna watch that really quick, and then I want to show you like this bonus content. Well, I want to watch it, and like I want to experience it. I want my first reaction and experience to be recorded. So I'm gonna do that before I go to bed. I said I was gonna go to bed after part 10, but man, this game just it's so good. So I want to like sap every little bit of juice out of it. You know what I mean? All right, so we'll do the end credit scene. It's gonna show like, like some scenes, and then we'll be able to skip the credits.
Fuck! No!
At least they went fast. This one though. She lived for a while after that. Rest in peace, Mike. Dude's a hero.
He held it
And
right
this
up to my
bitch.
face. Right here, right in front of my nose, and he could have shot me.
You should have died
he
in the
almost
mines.
shot me, the prick. I mean, you go out with a guy for however long, and you think you know him, but man, this one really takes the cake.
I was right there, and I could have done something. I tried to do something. It wasn't good enough.
I thought we were close. After his sister's disappeared, he'd come and talk to me.
I'm so happy she made it out
He said I was
alive.
the only one who understood him. I thought we had a connection.
If you need someone to talk to,
I'm fine.
sometimes, after a traumatic experience,
I said I'm fine.
You bringing in Meat Brain next? Gonna kick him around a bit for me?
I'm sorry,
Meat Brain, Mr. Muscle Brawn, Matt the Incredible Sulk.
is there something we need to know?
Oh, no, nothing important except, you know how he basically left me to die up on a freaking tumbling tower like a world-class douche novel?
Blah 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 blah.
It was my fault Mike died. I wasn't supposed to move.
No, he knew what was
But I
going,
did.
what was gonna happen, Sam. He knew the
And he saved me.
cost.
So it's my fault that he died.
No, no, Sam.
You need to listen to me. I don't care if you believe me or not. Doesn't matter because you will. You need to go down to the mines.
What's in the mind, Sam?
I've seen what's down there. And I'd give anything to unsee it.
Take note of what she just said. This is the end credit scene.
There's something down here.
I have a visual on a survivor. One survivor, repeat. Is that?
Oh, fuck.
Stay back! Stay back! No, no! Stay back!
Butterfly effect updated. See that? Josh was still down there. He's becoming a Wendigo. That's crazy. So two people went down there. Sound like a male and a female? And they had walkies. And they already touched base with HQ, and hopefully they copy. Because that mountain needs to be wiped out, dude. So here we go with the bonus content. You know, I really appreciate anybody that came to stick around for this end credit scene, cutscene, and this bonus content. Because, yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Like, you don't see this stuff in other games. Look at this. Hopefully, you know, none of it's too long. I checked the first couple seconds of
I
this.
am Hayden Panettiere, and we are here at
Sam.
the studio recording Until Dawn.
My name is Rami Malik, and
Josh.
I play Josh.
My name is Megan Martin.
Fucking Jessica.
My name is Untill
Mike.
Lentini, and I played Hannah and Beth.
My name is Jordan Fisher, and I play the character Matthew, Matt for short.
I'm Nicole Bloom, and I play Emily in the
Fucking
game.
Emily.
My name is Noah Fleiss.
I am.
Was that fucking Chris?
Ashley.
So
Who's-
Until
who
Dawn
is
is the story
Ashley?
of 18
I like
years
Ashley.
who revisit this cabin in the woods about a year later after a really traumatic experience where I've lost two of my sisters, so coming to kind of get some closure in that respect.
One of the things that Larry does really well is make these multi-layered characters, and I think for just the story in general, it follows the quintessential horror film plot lines, but the characters are so unique in themselves, and I think that's very cool.
Oh, yeah, this was the right thing to do.
What?
You know, getting everyone together on the anniversary. I mean, Josh seemed really pumped about us all.
That's
doing
crazy how they
something,
got
didn't
the
he?
characters
Yeah,
to
no,
look just
he
like the
definitely did.
actors.
I haven't seen him so excited about something in forever.
Good, good. Sam and I have a few things in common, such as being huge lovers of animals, and she's a huge animal lover. She's vegan. She is a pacifist. I'm not quite sure if I'm gonna go as far as saying that I'm a pacifist, but she's spunky and cool. I know that she, I think, is made fun of a little bit by the rest of them who think that her morals and her beliefs in that area are a little ridiculous and they don't agree with them, but she doesn't care. It doesn't stop her from being herself, and that's something that I hope I have in common with her.
You know, he
She's cool.
definitely can be depressed at some times and a bit of a loner, but he takes some solace in one of his sister's friends, Sam, played by Hayden Panettiere, and invites
This guy's
everybody
weird,
back
man.
to the same house the next year to kind of find some closure.
Jessica is.
I don't.
She has a whole lot of personality. She. Is
I don't even
definitely
like
the
this
sort
chick's
of
voice,
mean
man. Holy
girl
shit.
Character that, you know, at school she knows she's pretty. She knows that boys
Holy
like her. And she's
fuck.
gonna use it to her advantage.
He's got a big heart, and especially how he treats his girlfriend Emily, and you know, he's kind of a meathead, but in the best way possible.
She really knows what she wants, and she manages to get that from whomever it is, whether it be Matt or Mike. You know, she's really driven, and I can definitely relate to that.
My character is Chris.
Hey, what's up,
and
Chris?
He is
Shit, I'm sorry I
what
got you killed,
society
man.
might consider the nerd of the group, and he kind of embraces it.
Ashley
Oh,
is.
she's cute.
She's a little more serious than some of the other girls. She's definitely very intelligent and.
But
thoughtful.
Sam's
She kind of
definitely a
holds
prettier
the
woman,
picture of
though.
things. She's not quite as geeky as Chris, but they connect in a lot.
Sorry I
of
got
ways.
you killed,
Mike
Ash.
is like big guy on campus.
Hey, what's up,
He's,
Mike? Hey,
Red
dude,
Cross
sorry I got
president.
you. Oh,
He
you did.
has some
You
charm,
saved
he has
everybody, you know. Thank you for the
brain,
fucking
and-
sacrifice,
I
man.
don't know,
Appreciate it.
Like Mike, he gets away with a lot though. He can be kind of jerky.
The fact that he really
I
just
didn't
kinda
like
wants
Mike
everyone
at
to be
first,
happy,
man, but
and he wants her. He's
I
a
like
people
him.
pleaser, and it's I can definitely attest to being, you know, that guy. I'm always the friend that wants everybody to be happy and wants everybody to be taken care of, and that's definitely Matt.
But also,
Dude
like,
reminds
his
me of
character
Jaden
is just
Smith.
So fun. I rarely get to play the bitch, and so it was really fun. To
Yeah,
do
I can
that.
tell you like playing the
Spirit thing?
bitch.
Seriously, what's wrong with you?
Kind of like
She's like, I'm gonna make everybody hate Emily.
Like what?
the way you're being. You always get like this.
I just think this is just the coolest thing to be a part of. And,
Hell yeah.
I
Lucky.
just think it's going to take the world by storm. I really do. I think this genre is the wave of the future.
Hell yeah, it
and
is,
I
man. They
think
should
that,
make every game
once
like
people
this.
see the potential
Reminds me of
behind
like the
it, of
Telltale's
getting to
games.
interact
It's like they
with
started
the
it, I think. Maybe not.
drama
I don't
that
know.
You're witnessing unfold in such a realistic way that this is how entertainment's going to be from now on.
Fuck yeah, dude. That guy had it right on the nail, right on the head.
Hi, this is Lee Robinson, production designer on Until
Oi,
Dawn.
what's up, Lee Robinson?
The production design for Until Dawn started with the great
Until
teen
Dawn,
horror script
I'm Lee
that
Robinson.
sets the characters in a Canadian winter mountain lodge, being a contemporary setting with visual clues derived from classic films of that
Yeah, we
genre,
know
such
this
as
shit.
Hitchcock's Psycho and
They
Stanley
just show
Kubrick's
some
Shining.
cool stuff, or am I gonna back out of this?
The storyboards are vital to the production design as it allows the designer to understand the scale of the environments to be made and the detail that would be seen to create the atmosphere of a horror. This took us into
That's cool.
concepts
That's like
that
the
took these
sketch.
storyboards further,
That's
visualizing
crazy.
the world through the color palette, the lighting,
That's fucking
tone,
crazy
and
how,
mood,
like,
and developing key locations
like
such as the
technology
lodge, the
nowadays
cable
can
car
make like
stations,
even back in
forests
the day,
themselves, the
or like
wilderness.
even animation in general, man. How like a
As you can
drawing
see,
on a
the
piece of
environments and
paper
atmospheres change quite a
can
bit from warm
become
and
like a
inviting
motion
to cold and
picture. You know what I mean?
The Millionaire's Mountain
Or like a
Lodge was a
3D
key example.
like
It was
animation
designed to
or
be made from
interactive
nearby
game.
stone and timber,
That's some
embedding it
fucking
into the
cool
landscape
shit,
with a
man.
contrasting and contemporary interior needing to be opulent and extravagant. We created dark and claustrophobic corridors with ominous and large open spaces, almost cathedral-like in size, and with huge structures to silhouette and dwarf the characters within, providing a labyrinth to explore and wander.
Yeah, some of them wastes of time.
Each character was developed with a strong visual identity in mind, with contrasting colours, tones, and silhouettes to identify them, each to have their own texture, pattern, and shape, so that when they were lined up, you could always identify them. The costume designs allowed a range of clothes that would suit them for the cold winter weather, but also have an element of style and individualism,
So
that
happy
the audience
Sam
could
made
look
it
at
out
them
alive.
and relate, recognizing themselves within them.
A lady would like to cuddle up with her man by
Ugh, shut up. The Science of Fear.
Until Dawn is a game that's full of horror, and one of the things we decided to do early on was to take a scientific approach to how scary it was. So we did
He's like, oh, they
on
turned
people,
out the
and we
lights.
measured their
They're like, oh,
responses to
fuck,
the
they're
game.
turning.
We created a test area. It's as close to a home setup as we can get.
Why does
We
everybody get
recruited
so
all the
nervous
people
when
to
the
play
light goes
game,
off? I would have
and
been
we
like,
left
all
them
right,
to
let's
play it
go.
on their own.
Turning the light off.
Turning the light off.
The only difference is it's rigged with cameras and microphones that relay the data through to the next room where people are watching them play. Bracelet here we use for biometric testing. It measures the player's emotional response.
Oh, I
It's
wish
called
I
a
would have had
galvanic
one of those when
response
Mike was
sensor.
down
It
in
makes
the
contact
fucking
with the user's skin, and it measures the electrical
in the
conductivity
fucking
across
mines
their
or in
skin.
the
It's same
sanatorium.
principle as an old-fashioned lie detector. When you're
Man,
stressed,
my shit
you
was
sweat a
up
little,
there, man.
very
I was
sensitive.
shaking.
It picks up tiny changes if the player's feeling anxious or scared. That data's fed back to a testing team, comes through as a graph.
What are you gonna do, bro? You gonna let go? Drop Hannah. Oh shit! Oh! The motherfucker just dropped the sister. Didn't even blink.
There's no point testing one or two people. You have to test a lot of people. When we have a scare that's consistently has a measurable emotional response, then we knew it was good. If it didn't have that, it goes back to the team for improvement. The data doesn't tell us what's wrong with the scare, it only tells us if it's working or not.
Wait, okay, so you hear that too, right? Josh.
Here we have a chapter relatively early in the game.
Weirdly regular.
Nothing regular about it.
We have to create tension and anxiety in the player so they are ready to receive the scare.
I'm very Look at her, she's fucking right fucking shook,
The player
dude.
time to recover, to cool down, to calm down, and then start building the tension again before we do the next scare.
Hey.
What?
Fucking Chris. Hey, what's up?
You just got mucked.
an adrenaline high from that game.
There's two things we found. One is we could look at the scares, analyse if our expected scares were working effectively. Were people
Shit, I was
shaking,
like that
throwing
playing
their
the
hands,
game
or
though.
were they getting an emotional response from it? And being scientific about it means that we strip out people's opinions about whether things are working or not. We've got data, and we look at the data. If it's working, we're happy with it.
Really scary.
Bit scared and wanting to get away.
I actually be maybe a bit scared to play on my own, but
in a room with
It's
the
not
lights
that
on,
bad.
yeah, with some other people as well. Yeah, maybe.
But because I'm a scaredy cat, I would play with someone in the room. And the lights on.
It was one of the scariest games I've played in a long while.
Dope. 1,000 pages.
Hi, Larry.
Hey, Graham.
That was awkward.
Hi, my name is Graham Resnick. I'm
What's
a
up, Graham?
filmmaker, writer, director, sound designer. And,
Oh, look at you.
I started working with Larry Fessenden about 10, 15 years ago through my friend Ty West, who I grew up with, and have done a lot of sound design with on his films. And he was producing Ty's films at the time, and Ty introduced me to Larry. Larry produced my first feature, and we've written together on several projects.
My name is Larry Fessenden. I'm a filmmaker.
Whoa!
Which is an independent production company out of New
That's
York.
the fucking guy.
We make indie movies.
Flamethrower guy.
A lot of scary movies as well.
He's like, yeah, I'm that guy.
I got a call to audition to write this video game, and I called my pal Graham Resnick because Graham is a gamer, and while I thought I could offer something to the idea of writing this multi-branching story, I knew that I would want
Flamethrower
Graham's
guy.
expertise as a lover of gameplay, since I guess games were started. So
And just as a lover.
and as a lover, yes. Which is why there's so many sex jokes in the game.
There was one Italian website that did say the Larry
that's
Fessenden
right.
and Graham Resnick, the two lovers behind Until Dawn.
Come here. Maybe I know how to handle you too.
I am definitely ready to be handled.
So I wanted Graham by my side. Yeah, and we got the gig, and it's been an amazing ride.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god. She's taking her shirt off.
What? Oh
And
my
Hannah
God.
got her revenge on
Matt.
a lot of people, though.
What are you doing here?
Hannah.
I'm sorry, Hannah. This all got
Don't
out of
worry,
hand,
just
but
So in the game, the basic setup is that a year prior to the game's start, all these kids had gone up to a ski lodge that was owned by the parents of one of the kids, or a couple of the kids, and some of the teenagers played a prank on some of the other teenagers, and a terrible tragedy occurred when a few of them, two sisters, ran out into a blizzard, and were never seen from again. And so now, a year later, this is kind of torn apart, this group of friends. They've gone through some trials and tribulations in the past year. The brother of the two girls has had a lot of psychological issues, and to kind of help him cope and help them all get over it, they all returned to the lodge a year later, back up on the mountain. And the idea is to get over it, but...
the healing does not begin.
Yeah, and these kids are all trying to find themselves. They've been through a trauma, but in general, they're just teenagers trying to figure out who they are. So they're all kind of falling into the patterns, the stereotypes, the characters they see on TV and in the movies.
I think we were very interested in taking genre tropes and kind of making them sort of refresh them.
Hey, did you see that? Dad said it'd just be us this weekend.
We're familiar with how slasher movies work. Most people have seen some horror movies, and we have established notions and preconceptions about the roles of the players in horror movies and how they talk and how they get killed and how they have sex.
And how they get killed.
To bring you into the game that way and then subvert a lot of those expectations was kind of our goal.
They're haunted by some incident that happened in their past, which I think you pretty much figure out that that's going to have a role in their interaction. Yeah, so I think what was fun was we take some sort of stock characters and we try to give them some shape, but at least at the beginning they're recognizable in the way of groups of friends. There's, you know, the jock and the bitchy girl,
Jedi.
and the rivalries between everyone. And
oh my gosh, and really fun characters too. Like we just had so much fun living in the minds of these characters through writing the script.
What do you think?
Jesus!
You know, it was fun. I think we were looking to get that kind of banter that you
Yeah.
see both in movies, but also that you absolutely have with friends, and sort of those inside jokes. And of course, as writers and as friends ourselves, we sort of developed little tracks, and we try to give the characters that kind of vibe.
That's crazy, dude. The score.
Yeah, fast and violent. All right, from the top.
My name is Jason Graves, and I'm the composer for Until Dawn. I've been involved with Until Dawn for about a year now.
That's pretty good.
Originally, I was contacted by Barney Pratt, the audio director. I think that had something to do with my lineage of horror games, and hopefully not the fact that my last name is Graves, although a lot of people seem to associate my name with scary music. One of the things that was really exciting about working with Barney and the team at Supermassive is they really wanted something unique for the music. They wanted the music to stand out and be a character on its own in the game.
Yeah, that's what everybody says and does, bruh.
When I'm first starting on a new score, and it doesn't matter if it's
Dude
film,
reminds me of
television,
Frodo.
or games, I always end up going to the main theme. Sometimes the developer or producer isn't even necessarily interested in the main theme at the beginning. I just want to do it for myself, because for me the main theme is the identity of the game. It establishes the mood, the atmosphere, and the character of the music and how it's going to be playing in the background.
Bro,
And that's what we
music is
did
everything.
with Until Dawn.
Like,
That
you
was
watch a
actually
scary
my demo
movie,
pitch
it's not as
to
scary,
Supermassive Games. I put a
like,
main theme
unless
together,
you got
recorded all the
fucking
instruments
music
at my
playing.
studio.
Like, if you're watching
and
something
sent it to
scary
them.
and you don't want, you
And
want to see it,
they liked it.
but you don't want to, like,
we actually ended
cover
up
your eyes and
recording
shit.
that
Just
exact
plug your ears,
theme,
man.
all the instruments and everything live
like 10
here
times
at
less
Ocean
scary.
Way, probably 9 months ago. And that's what we've been using in all the demos for the game, and that's the final version of the theme that is the main theme that you'll hear on the menus and in some key pieces of gameplay. I seem to have made a name for myself in horror. And there's something about scary music, I think it's maybe the lack of rules. The biggest rule in scary music is there are no rules, so you can do anything you want, and actually, if you end up doing things that don't feel like they would work out together, they kind of clash, and it ends up being even more effective for scary music. So that's what really drew me to Until Dawn, was the textures, plus writing thematic material that is interwoven with the scary textures. I haven't really done anything like that before. Usually it was just all tension all the time, and that's fun and it's great. But I'm actually at heart a very melodic composer. That's the kind of music I love listening to, and that's the kind of music I love writing. That's the kind of music I got to work on in Until Dawn. Very nice.
My name is Will Biles, Executive Creative Director of Until Dawn. The first part of getting a believable facial performance in-game is to capture, topographically, the actor's range of emotional expressions as separate versions of the same head. Every tiny nuance gets digitized and merged, effectively creating a model that can recreate every facial movement that the actor makes. Once the topography has been recorded, the actor's performance itself can be captured by using a predetermined set of marker points, drawn precisely on the face, and a high-def helmet cam, wirelessly linked to capture devices. The camera is the small box where it looks like the microphone should be.
Outro Sam. Mark.
It records in high def the movement of the dots throughout the performance that will drive the expressions captured earlier. Unlike other systems, this form of capture is far less lossy because there are fewer interpretations between performance captured and performance rendered finally in-game. The audio is also recorded via two separate lavalier mics attached to the helmet. It takes a while for the actors to acclimatize to carrying around the recording devices and the helmet cams, but very soon the shoot becomes similar to any other effects shoot or a green screen shoot.
Oh, nice. So this is
The
how they
actors
did
in
that.
these scenes are only recording facial animation, but use cursory body movements for pacing.
Wait, and maybe we should all stick together and find everybody and make sure they're all okay, so...
1-1, the year before the prank. Take 2, Mark.
Other than the other actors, they have to use their imagination for everything and everywhere that they are supposed to be seeing and feeling.
Idiot! So dumb!
From a hot midday studio in Los Angeles to a freezing midnight mountain in British Columbia.
That's cool, man.
Because Until Dawn has a dynamic, ever-changing story, the facial performances and the body performances are recorded separately, with different systems. With the body capture, we use reflective bead suits and an infrared camera matrix system that drives the CG bone hierarchies in our character models. These performances cover everything from character locomotion, scene-specific performances, and stunt work, most of which was recorded at studios in Pinewood and Shepperton, near London.
Anna! Hello?
Combining all the elements seamlessly in the final game becomes a formidable editing and logistical task. Every variation, both physical and emotional, must be combined in these multi-edits. Scaffolding props have to stand in for the sets, because the hundreds of infrared cameras have to be able to see all of the reflective beads on the actor.
Oh, bro, that's cool.
America's North Woods border region. Within this land of 10,000 lakes and miles of dense timber, a hideous creature is believed to lurk.
The North Woods is probably one of the last frontiers in America. There's still a lot of places in this area that hasn't been set foot by man. Monsters and mysteries exist here because it is remote.
Up in the North Woods, winters are long. In times of biting cold and isolation, a devouring monster is believed to come forth. It's terrorized native people for generations.
Growing up, I was told, like, don't go outside, the Wendigo will get you.
I've heard of Wendigo too when I was a kid, man.
Among the traditions of the northern Algonquin tribes is the Wendigo, a monster that can seize hold of a person to carry out its hunger for human flesh.
Many Native Americans fear even talking about this Wendigo, and even the mention of the name will let the Wendigo find out where you are, and it will open you up to be possessed by this Wendigo.
The most famous case of a Wendigo possession took place in 1879. In the deep woods outside of Edmonton, Alberta.
What?
Swift Runner, a Cree Indian, was a trapper and a guide. He had left town the previous autumn with his wife, 6 children, and his mother. But when Swift Runner returned in spring, he was alone.
Swift Runner came into a nearby village telling this heartbreaking tale.
I had to watch them starve to death.
Of his family being killed by starvation, and that he was the only survivor.
My whole family gone.
It wasn't hard to understand a family falling victim to a brutal winter.
But how did you
Yet
make
something
it
was suspicious about Swift Runner.
He was a strapping man, and he came into town weighing over 200 pounds. It didn't look like somebody who had just weathered a terrible winter. He wasn't malnourished, didn't look like he was starving. He looked healthier than ever.
This was outside of my city that I'm in right
After
now.
a few nights, it became clear that something was wrong.
He started having night terrors, screaming in his sleep.
I am the Wendigo.
Villagers alerted the police.
Swift Runner actually guided them back to his winter cabin. When they got there, that's when they saw the true horror. Human skulls were scattered around, many bones, some of which had been snapped in half, and the marrow inside had been drained. They had never seen anything like it. Swift Runner had killed his entire family, shooting them, hitting them with an axe, strangling, and then eating most of their bodies.
Right up until the moment the noose was on his neck, Swift Runner swore the evil spirit of the Wendigo had possessed him and twisted him into a cannibal killer.
When he was on the gallows, Swift Runner himself said, "I am no longer a man."
Bro, I gotta do some more fucking... I'm gonna do some background history on that. This happened like years ago. Just outside of the city that I'm living in now. Holy shit. No one ever heard of a fucking Wendigo before.
Just move over there. Go on, move. Let me say what I came to say. I'm here to tell you what you're up against being back on this mountain. You should never have returned. I don't know why you did after what happened last year.
You mean with Hannah and Beth?
Yeah, how could you know without being involved?
I don't take kindly to you kids coming up here to my mountain.
Your mountain.
The mountain don't belong to me, it's true. But it don't belong to the Washingtons. This mountain belongs to the Wendigo.
Hi, this is Lee Robinson, production designer at Supermassive Games. Understanding the ancient myths of the Wendigo was key for their development that helped the visual look. Through sketches and concepts, these elements were visualized, such as eyes being milky, almost dead, with loss of lips and eyelids due to frostbite, fangs growing and arms and legs getting longer, with skin hardening and thickening to look snarling and menacing, yet withered and lean.
The hell was that? Another fucking piece of...
Fingers and toenails extending like claws, allowing them to climb effortlessly. We made them look gaunt and weathered, and having ragged remains of clothes they wore. Blood-stained and rotten, with patches of hair still remaining, they retained strong skeletal limbs, which enable them to be agile and quick through the environment.
Where are you?
My name is Jamie Gallipo, animation director at Supermassive.
You're not a fucking battery.
The overall direction on the creature was to be very strong, to be extremely fast. We wanted a spider-like movement to the creature. 1 minute scampering to leaping and then crawling, almost instantaneous. And finally, we wanted the creature to have this real, uncontrollable thirst for flesh.
From a sound design perspective, the Wendigo is a real challenge. For the main vocalisations of the Wendigo, we used our own vocalisations, various different animals from the exotic to the farmyard, various plugins and processes to gel these sounds together and keep a human resonance behind that voice, telling the backstory of the Wendigo. During the chase sequences, the anger of the Wendigo is felt by encircling breaths, screams and screeches that essentially chase you as you're being chased by the Wendigo. We would layer them up in a multitude of layers, sometimes 15, 20 sounds playing at the same time, to build up the vocalizations for this fearsome creature which is always in attack mode, hyperactive and chasing you throughout the game.
Fuck, if I would have hid in that one part, just would have made it out with me. Well, that's it. That's the bonus content for Until Dawn. If you came to check it out, I appreciate it. If you came to watch the whole thing, I appreciate that even more. This is your dude, man, signing out. Thank you very much. Be expecting some more of these types of games coming. Thank you very much. Have a good night.